Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. It's such a busy time of the year. We know that everyone's just crawling their way to the finish line now. The holidays are not far ahead. So we so appreciate you taking the time to join us. And if you're joining us on the catch up, thank you so much for watching. So we hope you're all well. It's not going to be long before you're able to shut the lids down and hopefully take some valued and well-deserved time for yourselves as well. So this webinar we do every year. Can you believe it? 2025 has just flown by. And there's been some amazing ThingLink improvements, lots of different use cases. So we're going to take some time to go through those today. But of course, I'm not on my own. No way am I on my own. We have the one and only, the most beautiful person, Claudia, joining us. Hello, Claudia.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Louise, for the introduction. That is always really thoughtful. So, guys, this evening, please get ready to celebrate a year of ThingLink, where there is innovation and immersive learning meets real-life scenarios, inspiring students and educators to thrive, to achieve and stay motivated, which is the most important thing, motivation, and to be happy to learn. So I can't wait to show you guys everything that we put up with you and for you. Sorry, my English is leaving me as per usual, but anyway, you know the
Don't worry, Dr. Purdue has agreed, crawling to the finish line indeed.
Yes.
And Saif is joining us from Finland. Hello, Saif. We're delighted that you're going to be here. We've got Tammy joining us from Northern Utah. I love Utah. So beautiful. So please do say hello in the chat where you're from. And we love the engagement that we get on these webinars. And please do ask your questions. Join in with your thoughts, because they really do bring it to life for us as well, because we can share those on the screen as well. And it's not just us here, although we are in the front end of the studio, but in the backstage is Ivan. He is our most wonderful support manager, customer success. He writes all those fantastic support articles. We love Ivan. We know you do too. So if you've got any technical questions, you've got any account queries, anything at all, pop them in the chat, because Ivan is here to answer all of your questions. Now, we have also got a great deck for you. We love our decks. And in those slides are going to be lots of links. We're going to take a really quick look at all the things that we've been doing this year. We're also going to give you some sneaky peek what's coming on the roadmap next year, and it is very exciting. But not just that, we're also going to be thinking about some of the examples that we've seen, Claudia, and I know that you've got a cracker to share as well, haven't you?
Yes, of course.
Brilliant. Okay, let's get cracking on with the show. You will get the slides afterwards. You'll get an email from us, and it'll have the link to the replay, which is the same YouTube link. Oh, and I should say as well that there's 2 YouTube links, I think, because there's a new feature, which means you can watch it in portrait mode, and you can also watch it in landscape mode, depending on what device you are using to view this. So that's new for this webinar as well. Hello from Oxford. Hello, Madalena, joining us from Italy. Right, so just as we start, we'll recap a little bit about, of course, the backstory still stands. Ula's vision in creating ThingLink all of those years ago, which was learning was inherently interactive. And this is something that was the brainchild of Vygotsky way back when. And this has really lasted the test of time. And it's a thread that's kind of woven through ThingLink, which is about creating interactive assets, making everything around us interactive, but also enabling us to be like scientists. What happens if I press here? What happens if I go down this branch? And it's this theoretical underpinning that really sets ThingLink out from the rest, because it's really stood the test of time. So I always think that it's really nice to remind us, and here is my lovely 3D Vygotsky, which is embedded into my canvas that you're able to do. So as we move on then, of course, from Vygotsky, we need to just remind ourselves how far ThingLink's come since 2011, when it was developed by Ulla Maria Koivula when she was doing her PhD in education at the University of Helsinki. And that has enabled ThingLink to evolve. And we're now at this point where we are seeing AI being involved, but it's more as collaborative. It's a collaborative AI. It's not there to just whiz things up with no meaning. It's there to actually help us to refine and develop and save some time as well. And I can see that Amanda has joined us. Hi, Amanda. Thank you for joining us. And Dr. Purdue's Zone of Proximal Development is coming back to you from your dissertation days. So if you click on the little hotspot there on the screen by the interface, it'll take you to an interactive version that's got lots of different examples of how ThingLink has evolved. But now, as I mentioned, we're at this point where we're thinking about XR, VR, spatial learning, and collaborative AI within ThingLink. But of course, you know, you've got the tech there, but what is it really going to do in making a difference? How is it really going to help you move from some of the learning materials that you've already got? And here is Ulla herself with a wonderful overview of what this.
How can technology change learning for the better? So much of digital learning still relies on static slides and PDFs, and this leaves many learners behind. At ThingLink, we believe that digital learning should be more natural. It should be contextual and more engaging. It should be guided so that you won't be learning alone. And who will be creating these new learning experiences? You will, with AI-powered tools, faster than ever. We help you transform your ideas and existing materials into learning experiences that are more visual, memorable, accessible, and available in any language across multiple devices and platforms. Our mission is to make immersive and spatial learning easy, with tools that are simple, scalable, and affordable. Together, we can modernize digital learning. We can bring it back to real environments, connected to real situations, and most importantly, people. You have the vision, and now with ThingLink, you have the tools.
I just love that. It's just such a great video, Ulla. It just sums up all of those things that we know and love about ThingLink. And that's been our message for 2025. And that is, we are bringing the real world to digital learning and digital learning to the real world. And that's so important at a time when people are worried about the disruption of AI and is everything going to be generated by AI, tutors, images, the world around us? And we want to say, no, it's okay, because, you know, we can make sure that the real world is still very much part of the experiences that you're creating for your learners. And I just really, really love that, Claudia. It really sings. And hi to Henrik from Poland. Thank you for joining us, Henrik. I think I know who that is. Henrik, you're amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. But Claudia, 2025, what a year.
That was amazing, because we actually witnessed visual, memorable, and motivating example made by teachers and by students, that they actually represented real life scenarios. So they were going out there with their phones, with their 360 cameras, and they were creating amazingness. And then they talk about that. they described that and they enriched that with audio, video, visual. That was amazing. And this, the one that we got right there, is an amazing example that we witnessed with Kate. And that was just, apart from the fact that she lives in Nottingham, so hello, lovely. Plus, we saw this art exhibition that was just amazing. And we saw the potential of all these students that represented everything that they felt and they needed to say according to the different arts and statues that they were there. That was fantastic. Plus, there was an AR edition that gave an added value to whole the whole exhibition. And this one, oh my God, this is a fun story because this exhibition was always just up for one day, and that was a pity. But thanks to of this how can I say, of the immersive space and this immersive learning experience, they could actually keep it alive forever. Can you
It's
imagine that?
amazing.
Wow.
And the students actually annotated their art exhibitions. They put their own voices to it, their own words, their own music. They chose the music to it. And as you said, Claudia, the exhibition was only up for a day because the building was being renovated. But what Kate did is she created this amazing immersive exhibition with real artifacts, with students' voices. And then they were able to hire an art studio, which was in the center of town. And they put some headsets in there so people could come in, look at the objects, but then also experience what was the original exhibition that the students had put together. I love stories like that. So that was actually a case study, which we shared on a previous webinar. Anyway, Kate, we give you a big shout out. That was an amazing experience for everyone involved. And then I was thinking about this one as well, which I've just wanted to reiterate this importance of the authentic voice and real world media and context. And if you follow me on LinkedIn, you'll know about this, that we had this wonderful barista course, which was a scenario that was shot in the cafe. And this young person featured actually in the scenario throughout. She had to deal with problematic customers. But the important thing about this is that, and if you click on it, you can go straight to this example, was that you could hear
being a barista is one of those jobs people sometimes underestimate. They think it's just pushing buttons and pouring lattes, but honestly, it's so much more. One of the best parts is the rhythm of the day. There's something really satisfying with that first dial in. The moment your espresso shot hits that perfect flow, you feel like, yes, we're on. Then you're on it.
It's so cool. But everyone said, if I'd used an AI voice, it would have, maybe, would have been a voice explaining. But the fact that it was his authentic voice, real media and context, made it so much more relatable to everyone involved. So we're real champions of real world learning and real world context, and using assets that really bring young people's voices to life, as you saw with that exhibition there as well. Anyway, we must move on because I know that we've got a lot to get through. So, Claudia, what was your one thing that you noticed about ThingLink this year?
Well, there is a lot going on with ThingLink this year. First thing, job number one, new site, a new, fresh, sleek design that feels modern, intuitive, and super engaging. Plus, let me tell you, spot on color coding. So love that. Love that.
It looks great, and big shout out to all of our developer team. They are amazing. But yes, we had our very own glow up this year. Easier, cleaner, brighter, more intuitive, a whole new interface. And that has improved the experience for both the creators and the viewers of the experiences as well. So that's been a really big focus for ThingLink this year. And I know that, Claudia, you've got a little example that you were just going to put live to show people some of the new features as well. I switched that out and put yours on the screen there.
Because this is not just a matter of just the site by itself. There are a lot of new things that are in the behind the scenes. That is to say, first things first, tags. You can add tag. So you have 6 different ways of tagging your amazingness. But now you can choose. You can search in the bar. For example, if I type star, you can see that I find star straight away, and I can use color coding. So I can actually choose which star best suits with the color and the contrast, even for specific needs for our students and our purpose. So this is the first one. Really, there are so many. If we go on to settings, you got, of course, the info panels where you can put all your handles, so your handles, and then you can customize tags straight away from here. Before it was within the tags, now it's separate, so you can customize them. You can disable animation, video looping, large pop-up window. So for example, if you go here, you can see that the window is much larger. And then of course you have a selection of tasks I'm sorry, today my English is leaving me, maybe it is because I'm a little bit tired, but you've got a selection of a lot of tag editing modes. Then you can hover the preview. If you don't want the preview to be hovered, you just do like that and you don't have it anymore. So this is just a selection of things that you can actually see. But then there is something that it's super major, that is to say you can turn on and off default buttons. So for example, here you have a selection of what, this is my favorite look. This is the zoom one. Oh my God, that is so cool. So for example, here you can really actually get into the picture and you can work in the picture, you can describe the picture. This is so much potential. So I love every second of it. But if I don't want it, it's super easy. I just click on that and boom, it has disappeared. Then there is accessibility features, translation, but of course that here is not working because this is an image, so I don't have any text involved, so on and so forth. Plus, you got all the 360 accessories that you can turn on and off, and then you've got accessibilities. Oh my God. If you go on to accessibilities, first of all, you can choose the language. Can you imagine the potential for our students? You can choose the language. It's English, but as you might have guessed, I'm Italian. So I can put the Italian language or the French or the German language or whichever language suits more for my students. And then, of course, I can choose different profiles. So a motor impaired, blind, colorblind, dyslexia, low vision, cognitive and hearing. And then, of course, you've got widgets. I like things oversized because they suit me better. So you got screen reader, you've got all these amazing accessibility features that your students can actually use it straight away. But there is an amazing opportunity coming up for our teachers. That is to say,
Yeah.
tell us, Louise, tell us, please.
Yeah, so as Claudia mentioned, there's a great deal of accessibility tools that are there that are baked in, the immersive reader into the tags. Then you've got whole scene translation, which I'll show you a bit later on. But for 2026, ThingLink is focused on making sure that the creator experience is completely accessible as well. And that is making sure that we are going beyond the expectations of us. So we're making sure we're meeting legislation, important legislation such as WCAG 2.2, but that's always been about accessibility for all, for those that are viewing or experiencing, but now we're making sure that that applies to the creators as well. So the editor will have all of those accessibility features, which is just great news, particularly for students. And you'd think this was just a natural development, but it actually is something that not a lot of other tools do. They focus on the endpoint, they don't focus on the creation experience.
Exactly.
So that's going to be our focus. This is great news as well. So in your little demo there, Claudia, you showed different tag types. You showed 6 tag types, which are text media, poll tag, questions, transit tags, and media tags. But there's also another feature that's coming, which is in 2026. Instead of putting a tag on, you'll be able to have a pick a point question type. And for example, click on Finland and your image will be of the map, as you can see. But imagine if you ask people to click on a body part, or click on an engine part, or click where the fire exit is, or click where different things are. So this is a whole new way of creating interactive learning experiences. And I love this. So I really am super excited for this, because it just, again, yes, Amanda, Pick a Point is going to be a game changer.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. We think so too. And it's another one of those you said we did type moments, because this is something that's been requested by the community. So as always, keep your feedback coming. Can't wait to see how we use that in our learning experiences when that becomes available. So the next thing that we wanted to just call out is the fact that, you know, we think we're really lucky. Well, we are really lucky, because we get to see, you know, all of the things that you're creating across the world with ThingLink, but we also get to see how they're being used just by what you tell us. But we also see the use of our VR app, which is increasing. So, of course, if you want people to engage with your learning content in an individual way, maybe with a mobile device or a desktop device, whether it's your PC, your Chromebook, your Mac, or your iPads. But then, of course, ThingLink will work on interactive panels and your projectors. But it also works in immersive rooms for that shared experience. But we've seen a real rise in the use of VR. And I must admit, as someone that was a little bit skeptical a few years ago, I think because the technology is advanced, because we can engage with it, and because it's real world contexts and not just, you know, kind of generated images that people are engaging with, because it can be somewhere local to me or somewhere local to the school community. Yes, you can use your different headsets. So we've seen a really big explosion in the use of VR headsets this last year, particularly when it comes to the Meta Pico headsets. And really great comment from Ivan there. If you haven't tried it yet, it's much, much better. So we have launched, as of yesterday, a whole host of XR VR improvements. And I'm delighted to say that you're going to show us some of those, aren't you, with one of your lovely examples. But as Ivan has just said, it's much, much better. Imagine a much greater definition, pass-through enabled by default. So if you don't know what that means, it's when you've got the headset on and you're looking at an object, you'll be able to see it in situ. It's not just in the black space. You'll be able to see it wherever you're looking at it. It's got a refreshed UI. It's just a much, much better experience. And this also goes hand in hand with the development of 3D objects as well. The display quality is just so much better. And if you click on the link here, the first link will take you to a really great blog post by our Chief Operating Officer, Jonathan Hull. He's got a great post there. And this second link will also take you to our dedicated page that's got how to get started, how to get hold of the apps. So on the deck, if you click on those icons, you will be able to see all of the information. And I know that Ivan's only going to be too happy to answer any questions. So here's a little video to show you the new improvements. So experiencing your ThingLinks that you've created, imagine students creating their immersive experiences and then being able to view them in VR headsets as well. So here we've got someone looking at a 3D model. They're able to look at a video of what that looks like, but they're using that in pass-through. So they're actually looking at that in the kitchen. They're able to go in, see the tags as a task list. How great is that? So rather than clicking on each of the individual tags, they'll be able to see that panel there with the tags laid out for them. So this is going to be great for virtual training. And then, of course, you can organize all of your experiences into training modules and put them on your landing page as well. So you can have a dedicated landing page with all of those on. And don't forget, as we've just said, it's going to work across all of your devices as well. So we know that headsets are not right for everybody. So people might want to view it on a mobile device. They might want to view it on a iPad. They might want to view it on their Mac, Chromebook, or PC as well. So here's a great example of employee onboarding. I'm going to show you a great health one in a second, created by Andreas in our team, that shows you exactly how that looks. So I know, Claudia, you have created something, haven't you, to show people. And I should say that also you have been one of our ThingLink certified trainers for quite some time. And you created this wonderful character called Granny Susanna, who was a way of creating engaging immersive stories, and students could then decide what happened to Granny Susanna. But just so we can show you how good this is in the VR experience as well, do you want to just talk us through a little bit about Granny Susanna in VR, which you recorded yesterday with the new experience?
Yeah, because what I did, basically, I took the story of Granny Susanna and I tried to use branch scenario, and just that is mind blowing. As a matter of fact, while I was like going live and recording that, I laughed because I saw Granny Susanna in my room, like in 3D, and she was just special. So this is a different way of creating immersive storytelling. So because I converted it into a scenario based, 3D was just another story. I was like I was in Granny's house. That was so cool, and I could clearly see that there were amazing upgrades in the scenario. And look, I could choose where to go. I could choose what to do, what to see, who to talk to. That was so cool. And of course, the added value of oh, there she is. The added value of the 3D object.
Hello, my darlings.
Who's talking?
I am Granny Susanna.
God. Oh my God.
Some say I'm a keeper of secrets.
Yeah, well, I was just
Others call me a wanderer of
that
dreams.
3D within a branch scenario just allows students and teachers to to have a more fun and engaging experience, and of course a more motivating one. Please don't mind the mess that it's there because I'm messy. But anyway, so I loved every second of it, and yeah, and VR is just beyond. So yeah.
It's really made a breakthrough this year, and I love this. I think it's Ivan that's put this in. The pass-through enables your learners to stay aware of their surroundings if needed as well, because it can be really confusing with the VR headset on, can't it? It may be disorientating for some people, but the pass-through enables you to view things in the real-world context, and it also enables people to stay aware, be a bit more grounded. So, yeah, no more falling over and knocking into things.
Or head spinning. Oh my God, my head is spinning, and you're like, okay.
Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do, and keep your questions coming as well, Ivan's doing a great job in answering those in the chat, is to think about the scenario-based learning developments as well. And a big shout out to Saif that was in the chat as well, and again to the development team, because there are some amazing new developments within our scenario builder. It is becoming quickly, the kind of main product within the ThingLink suite of tools. Of course, you've got the editor, and then you've also got a scenario-based learning tool that enables you to link all these together and create beautiful branching scenarios that, again, hark back to that scientist mode, where if you're thinking about skills development, it's not just imparting knowledge. People can actually make choices and see the impact of those choices in a safe environment. So that's been something that we've been really proud to work on. And the thing that I would love to show you, and I'm going to show you a little demo of it in action, is the new text block improvements. So up until fairly recently, the text block within Scenario Builder was actually, kind of like a plain sort of text block, but it's had this amazing overhaul. I was just finding the right tab there. So here I've got this troubleshoot the brew scenario, and here you can see that I've got a text block here. And if I click on the edit pen, you can see here that I can now add an image, suggest an image, and it will add an image in for me. Here I've got my original text, which was my learning outcomes. You've also got the ability to add in audio directly into that text block as well. And this is something that I think is going to be a real game changer as well. Yeah, Amanda, adding the image to the text block is going to look great, and audio. And what I did for this barista one is I went on to the BB Sound Effects. There are Pond 5, I think it is. There's lots of ways in which you can get free audio. Many places you can download. Canva's got great audio as well. We love all of these sites that we work with as well, App Smashing. So I was able to add those to my text block here, but you've also got text to speech as well.
Oh my God.
So if I click on the text to speech button here, you can see that that's my text. I can choose a single speaker. I can also choose multi-speakers, and that will be, two people having that kind of deep dive chat that you might have seen in Gemini and Notebook LM.
Yeah.
So here I'm going to generate the audio, which is going to align with my text. So again, you're bringing multimodality to that text block, and imagine that in a headset as well. You'll be able to click through your scenario, hear the audio, see the images. You've got other ways of engaging with that spatial content. It really is. Amanda, she says, I feel like we've all won the lottery. That's amazing. So here I've got my text to speech.
Apply de-escalation and active listening techniques to resolve guest complaints regarding drink quality or...
And you can choose the different types of voices as well. And if I click the save button, that's now going to be in there. I've got my audio, I've got my text in there as well. I'm going to click save on the whole scene, and let's just have a look at what that looks like. So here I'm going to preview this. I'm going to click on this tab here, and then I've got my first slide, which is troubleshoot the brew, which is, I've used a GIF. People ask me this all the time. How do you add those little videos? This is just a GIF that I created in Canva. And rather than uploading an image to the base media of my ThingLink, I've uploaded a GIF. And then I've added in my little tag. So here I've got my little tag. It's got the nice music in there. But now when I click the forward button, here I've got that what was originally a text block. I've got some media, and I've got my I've got my voice there ready to play. So
apply de-escalation.
So all of these things are coming in. Scottish voices, I don't know if that's coming just yet, Amanda, but I'm sure that there are lots of things that are coming. It's not asking too much at all. So moving on then, the next, it just gets better and better. So as well as having those improvements to the text block, there's also going to be a new block, which I can just show you. If I click back here, click on the new block, you'll see that I've got an AI conversation block.
Wow.
And what's this going to do, I hear you ask? Well, there's going to be two modes with that. And imagine if we'll use the coffee scenario, or imagine that I was dealing with a patient or dealing with a vexatious customer complainant, you can have different modes. You've got tutor mode and simulation. And what I love about this is that I think it really plays into assessment of where the learner is at. So imagine creating a tutor mode conversational chatbot within your scenario that can take on a persona and talk to the learner with audio as well, and thinking about the scaffolding that experience as well. So it's like, what do you know now? What's your impression of this? Or tell me what you know now. You know, you could build in that kind of baseline assessment, but you could put it in the end, which enables someone to have a reflective conversation about what they've learned as well. So tutor mode is coming, and then also simulation mode. So with the block that I've just shown you here, I'll just go back into it with the AI conversation. You can actually give it a prompt to act as a certain persona. So I might want it to be my angry customer who's going to leave the bar or the cafe. Sorry, that was wishful thinking. The cafe because the espresso machine is broken. But I'm sure you'll all be brimming with ideas about how this can work. So that is something that's going to be coming to in 2026. And here's a little video to show this in action. And this was created by Henry in the ThingLink team, of how he's put a simulation. We were going to have a dialogue button, but that's not going to be there now. It's just going to be the tutor or the simulation. And here's an example of that AI conversation, which will enable your learners to have those kind of frank exchanges and be able to test their own theories even further.
Plus, it's like, if you don't understand a concept, you've got a tutor ready for you to deepen your knowledge and understanding on a topic, which is even major, because sometimes, you know, even if you're working into a flipped classroom mode, this is so helpful for both teachers and students, because maybe sometimes students don't want to lose their face, so they're not going to ask, whereas like that, they can have a straight contact with a tutor that, of course, was pre-made by the teacher, and then go with the flow. That's so nice.
So good. And then the next thing, and this is actually something that's already live now, we introduced this in the latter part of 2026, and that is the ability to create with AI. And this is a great example with teachers, again, collaborating with AI, where you've got the ability to upload a PDF, for example, and then transform that into an interactive and immersive experience. And this is created by Maria in our team. And here's a great example of it in action. So this is live now. You'll be able to go in and have a play with this, where you can upload your existing PDFs, your existing materials. And of course, if you're using slides, then, or you have used slides, you could download those as a PDF and then upload those into your scenario builder to give you that leg up. It's taking the heavy lifting out of all of the work for you, but it's not replacing it. It's about giving you that helping hand. And here's Maria suggest an image and then adding the text to speech in as well. You can even convert that into a ThingLink scene, and then using the companion AI there, you can generate images to go into that as well. And I think you can actually see this example in our library as well, which we can share with you. So that's some of the major improvements to Scenario Builder. But I think it's always important when we give you the opportunity to see these in action. And I really want to give a big shout out to Andreas and the Hof University, who have actually given us permission to share this example. And for me, this is one of the best examples of scenario builder that I have seen. And that is because it's a branching scenario, and it also combines real world images, real world contexts, but it also uses AI as that companion to help create some illustrations as well. But what I love about this example, which I am going to go into in a short moment. So this example at the moment is in German, and I am able to paste that into the chat. We'll make sure that you can get a copy of this as well. I'm sure it's going to feature in a lot of our case studies. And you can see at the moment that it's all in German. So here we've got examples of the learning objectives and the instructions. But you'll see at the bottom, I've got this translation button, and it's got 3 languages selected, but you can add more languages to this. And I'm just going to select English, and this will translate the entire scenario, all of the text within the scenario, all of the things that I've shown you, into the language of your choice. So this is all about understanding diabetes, and you're going to be immersed in the scenario as the character, whose name is Thomas, and he's 47. And as you go through the scenario, it sets you up to understand what's going on for him during the day. You can go into the kitchen, see that he eats a lot of white bread, and he also likes a biscuit or two. He does have a bit of fruit. And as you click through, you can reflect on your eating habits, and then you see that he develops some diabetic symptoms and learn about diabetes. And here we've got different types of type 1, type 2 diabetes. And as we go through, you can see he started to develop these symptoms. And then you can describe the symptoms that he's suggested. And it takes you through a whole experience that diagnoses his diabetes. And it also then goes through what happens in different scenarios. For me, healthcare is one of the ways, the sectors that could benefit from having these kinds of immersive scenarios. It's absolutely phenomenal. And as you can see, we've got the tests that he's taken, closer look at the test. The blood sugar level's too high. You saw the doctor early, so that's really helped. And you can see now he decides to go on a hike, and then he goes on a hike, and then he's got more symptoms as well. You can see that this is actually an AI generated image, but a lot of the images before were actually real world images as well. So it's a really nice way of combining the two. I don't know if you've seen all of this one, Claudia.
No, but I'm captivated by everything that you're saying, because first of all, it's so useful. In Italian school, we actually do specific courses on that, and I think we could benefit on something like that, really, to create something, from scratch for students to understand how to, to understand diabetes, and also how to take care of it, and not to be scared if they see a strange machine going around and they think, what are they doing? What are my friends doing? It's just normal.
Do you know what? I was watching a Facebook reel. Sorry for interrupting. I was watching a Facebook reel, and it said something like a young girl who was there when the tsunami hit, which was in 2005, was it? The tsunami, the Christmas tsunami. And she was 2004. She was able to save hundreds of people, because a few days earlier at school, she'd learned that when the tsunami wave comes over, the water rushes out. And she saw this happening in real time and alerted people. I'm sure the story is real. I hope it's real. But she was able to alert people, and she saved hundreds of lives. Imagine if we made learning like this so much more relevant for students to learn about diabetes, people to learn about diabetes, students of medicine to learn about diabetes. Imagine, you know, how impactful this can be to everybody in our communities.
This is real life at the end of the day. This is not just a story. This is real life. And maybe you will find yourself in that situation and you can help other people with asthma, with bronchitis, with, you know, when they're choking, if you actually learn to do that, even virtually, but then you're going to, you know, to give a real hand to the people in need. So, you know.
So big shout out there to the Hop University, University of Applied Sciences, and Adesso as well, who we've partnered with, and shout out to Andreas as well, who I know is watching. And also, I know that there's some other health professionals watching who work in pediatrics as well. You know, imagine being able to help students understand what it's like to work with different populations and different students. And tutor mode could even be, you know, that kind of scaffolding and assessment as well. You could have the tutor mode and the conversational mode to then take on those different personas as well. So I know we've only got 15 minutes left. So 3D improvements, and I've been involved in creating this. So 3D models have got a bit of an upgrade as well. And with the new 3D objects in VR, and I know that we've just talked about that with Granny Susanna, there are going to be some developments where you can pick apart a 3D object and explore it as well. So that is something that's going to be coming in 2026. 3D objects are going to get a major lot of ThingLink love in 2026. And imagine this again for healthcare professionals, industries like construction, engineering, manufacturing, all of those important industries that need those hands-on skills developments as well. So as we move on to this last quarter of our webinar, Amanda's doing some lovely faces there as well. I know, it's amazing, Amanda. So we've also this year thought how we enable our communities to develop their own skills as well. And we're not just focusing on ThingLink branded certifications, although we have got a few certifications out there, like the ThingLink certified trainers, but we've also just made our learning center so much more simplified. If people want to get started with ThingLink that have not used it before, you can simply go to the learning center, which is in your ThingLink account. So I'll just head over there, and if I come out of this view, you can see that on the left hand side, if you go to the learning center, there's some really nice simple videos of how to get started with it. And there's also some of those great examples as well. And they're broken down into those different cases and categories as well. So the Learning Center is going to be much more slicker for everyone. But we've also introduced our luminaries and idea sparks, because we really want to help people to showcase what they're creating, but we also thought it'd be nice just to give you some little sparks of ideas that you can take and run with. And all of those are on our blog, which you'll be able to go into right now and see all of those idea sparks as well. This one, for example, was just about getting started with a simple project, but we've got other ones as well for creating virtual tours, creating onboarding resources, for examples as well. We do have our ThingLink Certified XR Expert course, which many of you have undertaken and got your certificate. And this is completely free, and you get a micro credential with it as well. And it's all about understanding exactly what XR is. So that's available through the Learning Center as well. So what's next? Well, in terms of learning, this is in production at the moment, which is a course purely on immersive learning, fundamentals and advanced. And there's 2 modules that you'll be able to go with. This will, again, be completely free. It's not a ThingLink qualification or certification. We're trying to focus more on the different types of learning and what we know ThingLink is a leader in, which is immersive learning. And the learning outcomes for this are about immersive learning, but we also, and I think this is quite a bold move, and I don't see anybody else doing this really, and that is we know that there are learning outcomes associated with the learning experience that you have. So we have designed this whole learning experience for you to have learning outcomes and what it's like to engage in learner-centered, accessible PD. It's multimodal. There's lots of immersive assets in it. It's really thoughtful professional learning. So we know that you learn through the experience itself, and of course then the content, which is going to be about immersive learning. So this is going to be dropping soon. So I'm sure I'll be doing some more work on that through the holidays as well. So what's next? Our last 10 minutes, and this is devoted to some of the big changes. So at the top of this webinar, we talked about ThingLink being about bringing the real world to digital learning to the real world, and now of course what's coming next, and that is ThingLink being a bridge to spatial learning. And what does that mean? You might have heard me talk about this a little bit on some of our other webinars and presentation, and that is the new ThingLink Capture app. So and it's only for iOS at the moment because it uses LiDAR scanning, but with your iOS device, which is great news for one-to-one iPad deployments, you might be able to use an iPhone, for example, and take a capture of a 3D object and then do all the things that we've seen in this webinar with it. Imagine taking captures of a 3D object as you build it. Can you imagine for STEM subjects building a bridge as you design it, and you can take different 3D captures of it? I think that's going to be phenomenal. And then the next stage of that will not just be capturing objects, but it'll be capturing spaces as well. So where you can take your 360 image with your Pano to 360 tool within ThingLink, imagine being able to take a 3D capture of the space. And then, of course, we are proud to say that this will be able to be edited and viewed and captured within Apple Vision Pro as well. So this is where you'll be able to enhance physical objects with the digital information. It's all about annotating those objects with those hotspots and layering of information, and then viewing that with the Apple Vision Pro and placing those 3D models in the real world contexts. And then moving on from that, you'll be able to view these as shared spaces with multiple users who can simultaneously view and interact with the same spatial content in that physical environment. So this is what's coming down the road. I hope I've got everyone super excited. Amanda's, wait, what? I'm going to be using this all over the place. So that's a little slice of what's coming next. And here it is in action. And it's Andreas who has put this together, so you can see it in action. And here he's capturing that 3D model with his iPhone, and then using this within the Apple Vision Pro. You can hear some pause. My dog's decided that she's had enough sitting under my desk. Great job, Andreas. There we've got the different tags showing in different paths through. As Ivan said, if you're interested in early access, then please do reach out. I know a number of universities are investing in Apple Vision Pro, and Apple Vision Pro has got lots of developments coming in the future as well. So thank you to Andreas for that wonderful look at what's coming next. So I think we've rattled through our 2025 developments and improvements. And I would love to ask Santa for an Apple Vision Pro. But, you know, from myself representing the ThingLink team here, I just want to say a big thank you to you, Claudia, because you've helped out through these webinars throughout the year. Your support has been invaluable, and yeah, it's been an incredible year to be able to do these with you. So heartfelt thanks to the whole team for all of your support, and also to everybody watching. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing if it wasn't for everybody who's been involved in our communities, giving us feedback, asking us questions, making suggestions. So please do continue to do that throughout 2026 and beyond. And also, oh, that's quite funny. Ivan's just put, who knows what kind of grant project Santa has now? Yes, maybe there will be grant projects. But also, you know, I know that the holidays are not always a happy time for everyone. So if you are looking forward to your holidays, we hope you have a wonderful time. If you're dreading them, we hope you find some space to be safe and take care of yourself and other people as well. And a really, really heartfelt thank you to everyone who's joined and has watched these throughout the year. We truly, truly couldn't do this without you. So we hope you all have a wonderful and safe, refreshed, relaxing, and come back in 2026 with the enthusiasm. And we will be at BET. There's a big show in London in January. We will be at BET, floating on various stands, doing a few presentations. So if you'd like to come and join us at BET, then give us a shout out as well. Really, really nice. And thank you. Yeah, really, really. We can't thank you all enough, and your students as well. So if you are at BET and want to come and speak to us in person, we'd love that too. So Claudia, any final thoughts from you?
Well, no, you said that so well. I mean, thank you so much for everything that ThingLink has done for us. You guys made our growth, achieve our potential, and be happy. And we are amazing for what's next and what's to come. And this is just incredible. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. So the last thing, Anna-Katia is just summing it up. Happy holidays. Thank you to Ivan as well, who's been answering all the questions.
Thank you, Ivan.
In there as well. Ivan is just a complete star, and we couldn't do it with you either.
You are, Amanda. You are. Thank you.
All right. Well, it's a big thank you from us then. Take care, and we'll see you all in 2026. Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Bye.